It's not recording. Okay, thank you. All right, we're back. And we are on item 6C, review of policy G14, proclamations. So council was provided with an updated version of this policy for review, and it's recommended that CAC recommend to council approval at the November 29th council meeting that the G14 proclamation policy be accepted as amended. Someone could move that, please. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. And the seconder, thank you, Councillor Gerard. It has been moved and seconded that CAC recommend to council approval at the November 29th council meeting, the G14 proclamation policy as amended. Is there any discussion on this matter? Are you ready for the question? The question is on adoption of the motion to recommend to council approval at the November 29th council meeting of the G14 proclamation policy. Voting is now open.
I'm pressing.
Press nicer.
I'm voting yes anyway, so.
Okay, voting is now closed. And the motion is carried. Thank you. All right, and our next piece of old business is the public forum dates. And CEO Troke, if you could take us through the details as provided.
Thank you very much, Mayor Snow. So, coming out of our last meeting where council approved a future moderated public meeting, we were able to have communication with Kentville Volunteer Fire Hall because due to the size and location, we felt that it would be the best available facility. And so due to various bookings and also not wanting to hold a session, most notably on a Friday night or on a weekend, and looked at evening times of between 6 and 8 o'clock. So there was 4 dates in which the hall was available in November, 1 date in December, and we have 2 dates in January. And certainly if there was any reason to go beyond that, I would look into that, but these were the most up-to-date and current dates available as of when we spoke with the folks at the fire hall, I think 2 days ago. So I wanted to put this before council, and that way then council can make some decisions, or before committee, so that there can be a recommendation made with regards to what date folks would like to hold the meeting.
All right, thank you very much for that, CEO Troke. Is there any discussion on this matter? Councillor Zabian.
Thanks, CEO Troke. So we're gonna make a decision now, or it still has to go back to council? Because we're not gonna obviously make the 18th or the 16th, 17th, or 18th.
These are just the dates that were available.
Right.
And so this is for the committee to come up with what would be an appropriate date for folks. And then once I get my direction from the group, then I can go ahead and book the hall.
Okay, so if we come up with a date tonight, we can book it tonight, then I guess?
I could at least tentatively book it.
Right,
sure.
okay. So are we gonna ask people around the room what dates? How do you wanna?
We'll get there after
Okay.
discussion.
Okay.
Councillor Gerard.
No, that was my dates.
Okay. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Worship. Do we have a moderator in mind or selected? I'm thinking in terms of the time frame.
I have 2 options, and depending upon the date, we'll determine which one of those would be potentially available.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Zabian.
Thank you. I meant to say a minute ago, I think we should, well, it's hot on the heels now. I think we should, do it as soon as possible. So I would personally like to see it done in November. I think waiting till December, it's a busy month for people. And why would we wait till January when it's the dead of the winter and the weather's still good now? People can get out and engage with us. So I would say the sooner the better. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Maxwell.
Thank you. I think the 17th wouldn't be a good date since we already have a commitment for that day with the Deputy Minister of Municipal Affairs. So I think we should throw that one out. December is busy for me. I have family coming home and I'd rather not do it in December. I'd like to throw out the date, the 30th of November. It seems to give us lots of time and nobody else is mentioning a date, so I'm just going to throw that one out there.
Thank you, Councillor Maxwell. Councillor York.
Thank you. I agree with Councillor Maxwell that the 30th would be my choice as well, given our other engagement, but also the Jolly Holiday Festival, whatever, the Holidays Festival being the week of the 19th. We want to make sure that we have people's undivided attention, I think, in terms of public input, and the 30th does allow a little bit more time for advertising in as many avenues as possible.
Thank you. Is there anything, Deputy Mayor?
Thank you, Worship. I have to look at that asset management conference.
I'm away at that time as well in Truro for NSFM. So you're on asset management that day?
Is it the 30th and the 1st?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. But back on,
You're
but
back.
back on the 1st?
Yes. Yes.
Right, so could do it that evening.
I'm in Truro the 30th and the 1st for NSFM. Councillor Zabian.
Thank you. I know the week of the 16th is probably busy, but I don't think it would be nice to have a public meeting without the mayor, so I think the 16th or 18th would probably be better than if you're away on the 1st. I would hate to hold that without you.
Thank you. Councillor Maxwell.
Yes, thank you. I was going to suggest maybe if the 16th or 18th doesn't work, then maybe the night of December 1st would give people time to get back. But I agree that I'd like to see it sooner rather than later. So I can manage the 16th and 18th as well.
Thank you. Councillor Gerard.
Thank you, Worship. If we're discussing dates, I can do the 30th, but that seems to be out. I might be able to do the 1st. Other than that, the 16th, 17th, 18th, I can't do, so I'm either the 30th or January.
Thank you. Councillor York.
Given that it sounds like there are a lot of conflicts for that week, can we look at another space and perhaps the week of the 22nd? Like the Maritime Express Ballroom, perhaps, somewhere that's accessible with an elevator, has enough space to accommodate a few people, anyway, probably upwards of 100. And it seems conflict-free, but maybe that's because we don't have it listed in the possible debates, or dates listed.
So CAO, can you investigate that and then send us a doodle poll tomorrow? And would ask that everyone respond tomorrow on that week of November 22nd to 26th. Does that seem plausible?
We will give it our best shot.
Okay. The 25th, I do have a Valley Wren board meeting that night, but otherwise.
Okay.
All right. So we can expect a doodle poll tomorrow?
Yes.
All right, thank you. We have no correspondence, and we have one piece of new business, which is a revised records management policy. CEO Trope, did you want to speak to this?
Absolutely. Our records management policy here in Kentville, while it's not that it's extremely dated, but there has been work done over the last 2 years with AMA, and that effectively a joint or a common records management policy has been put forward, and the majority of municipal units have moved and adopted this. This particular policy also blends nicely with the work that we're looking to do here with digitizing as many of our records using microfiche as possible. Laserfiche as possible, old terminology coming out. And so both from a storage protection perspective and then obviously a paper retention in trying to get the information over to magnetic formats. And so I wanted to put this in front of council to review. As I said, this came out of a joint work, actually almost 2 years ago from AMA. And the majority of municipal units have moved towards this, but I want to give council a chance to look at it, if there were any questions or queries. And then obviously, if we could bring this to council itself for potential incorporation.
Thank you, CAO. So based on your recommendation is that CAC recommends to council the approval of the attached policy regarding records management, and further that CAC recommend to council the repealing of the Town of Kentville Policy Statement G53, Records Retention and Destruction. If someone could move that, please. Councillor York, thank you. And a seconder? Second. Councillor Gerard, thank you. It has been moved and seconded that CAC recommends to council the approval of the attached policy regarding records management, and further that CAC recommend to council the repealing of the Town of Kentville Policy Statement on G53, Records Retention and Destruction. Is there any discussion on this matter? CAO, I note in the new policy that there's no life cycle times for document retention or destruction. Because we put them in digital format, it means that we never destroy anything?
No, so what it means is, first, our opportunity to get the digital format as quick as possible is crucial.
Okay,
Second, in the Laserfish application, they become very secure documents, so it's not like holding them on the cloud. So essentially, we have our own place in which we store these. There's no access from third parties or worry for ransomware. And so it becomes more like we have our own data vault.
okay. Are there any, is there any other discussion on this matter? Are you ready for the question? The question is on adoption of the motion to recommend to council the approval of the attached policy regarding records management, and further that CAC recommend to council the repealing of the Town of Kentville Policy Statement G53, Records Retention and Destruction. Voting is now open. Voting is now closed.
Yes.
And the motion is carried. Thank you. All right, for our members of the gallery, if you wish to address council, please step to the mic. You may remove your mask, state your name and your address, and you will have 3 minutes to speak if so desired.
Thank you. My name is Mark Beaudry. I live at 1225 Highway 358 in Port Williams. Dear Kentville Town Council, thank you for the opportunity to address you this evening. Again, my name is Mark Beaudry, and along with my wife, Erin Wilson, we own and operate New Scotland Candle Company on Main Street. Many of you know, as many of you have been wonderful supporters of ours, that we opened our first retail location here in Kentville in February 2020. A month later, we made the decision to close our doors due to the pandemic and wanting to do our part to keep everyone in the community as safe as possible. We were unsure if we would ever be able to open our doors again. Through all the stress and uncertainty, the people in this community flooded us with support. It was the people in this community that not only saved our business, but allowed it to grow and flourish far more than we ever anticipated. One of the people who offered us support was our landlord, Andrew Zabian. While some businesses were struggling to access business supports as their corporate landlords would not work with them, Mr. Zabian proactively reached out to us and offered assistance even though we were a brand new tenant. While in the end, we did not need to access the rental support programs, thanks to the amazing support we received from this community, it was heartwarming to know that our landlord was willing to work with us to help us succeed through these extraordinary times. We've learned a lot in our almost 2 years with our first bricks and mortar location. Coming into the second year of our current 2-year lease, with the knowledge and experience we've gained, we knew that we would have to make a decision as to how to proceed with our business. Given that Andrew is our current landlord and knowing that he was in the process of developing the lot across the street from us, being the former Robinson property, we spoke with him about the possibility of leasing a larger space in the new building so that we could build what would truly be the store of our dreams. We've always wanted to be able to have a space where we can have our retail area open to our studio, We want to create a more unique and immersive shopping experience by showing people the production side of our business. After chatting with Andrew and through much discussion between ourselves, we knew that this building had the potential to build our dream. It's certainly not every day that an opportunity like this presents itself. Through looking at the growth we had experienced and what we want to do, we were prepared to lease upwards of 1/3 of the commercial space on a 5 to 10 year term. We want to be in Kentville. We want our business here. We've had many customers who are lifelong residents of Kentville comment on how much they love seeing the direction that this town is going in. With more of a return to retail in a bustling downtown, we love being a part of that. It's such a growing and vibrant business community with some amazing and unique places to shop. We are fortunate to have many folks from out of town drive here to see us. We always make a point to recommend other businesses in town that they may not know about yet because it matters to us that they succeed. And I know that so many other businesses in Kentville have done the same for us. The space that Mr. Zabian was about to start building this spring was the perfect opportunity to build our dream store. The decision to expand our retail space was made easier knowing that we would be continuing to work with our existing landlord that we know by name, someone who cares about local businesses and not just shareholder profits. Unfortunately, council's decision last month to buy back the Robertson property destroyed that dream for us. From now, every morning that we open our shop, we'll have to look at that gravel lot across the street, which will likely continue to be vacant for some time while this is sorted out, and think about what could have and frankly should have been. We want nothing more than to be able to grow our business here in Kentville and are forever grateful to this community for the support that they have given us. We believe that the decision to buy back the former Robinson property is not what is best for us personally, and we do not believe it is in the best decision of the people of Kentville. For whatever it is worth to you, we would urge you to please reconsider your decision. Sincerely, Mark Beaudry and Aaron Wilson.
Thank you very much.
My name is Ann Cameron, and I'm a resident of Kentville, 20 Acadia Drive. And I had served this town 7 years as a school board rep and attended town council meetings for that entire 7 years. So this is not my first experience at town council. I'm really surprised that we haven't got a team working. Without a team, we haven't anything. The town needs a team, and we need you to develop relationships with each other that are positive. Everybody counts in this town, everybody. And we all make a difference. We all make a difference in this world. And you gotta get that. Government starts at the municipal level, and what we see up the ladder is the foundation that we build. We need to do our best, our very, very best. I brought a little item that I want to read to you. And it's, what would I have the town council of Kentville do or say today? Be simple today. Simplicity is like a breath of fresh air. In the midst of the busy, complicated world, be a smile that brightens someone's day. Be the unexpected kind word. Be the small act of generosity that gives hope. Be the laughter that lightens a burden. Simple acts of goodwill cut through darkness and brings love. We need that. So just for today, simply be simple. What a blessing you would be to the town of Kentville and in the world. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Marcia McNeil Eyre. I live on Grant Street in Kentville. I've lived in Kentville for 30 years and worked in Kentville for 20 of the 30. And I guess my first question to the CEO is, how many extensions have the KCA development had?
So actually, I'm not aware of the number of extensions that they've had. I also know that the KCA property, there's an extensive amount of dialogue that goes back and forth between the organization and our planning department. So I would have to also speak to them with regards to the amount of interaction that would be going on there with the planning of the multiple phases.
How come you know how many extensions Andrew had, and you don't know the answer to how many KCA land has had?
They're written directly into the agreement that Mr. Zabian signed.
And you don't feel that he's being singled out in this? Any way?
This document that's with regards to that property is very, very much a document that I've seen many times throughout my career with regards to purchase and sale of municipal or provincial properties.
I didn't bring a letter, I didn't bring anything other than just go by the seat of my pants kind of thing, but I want to say that if any of the council know the Zabian family, they're well respected business people and have been for the last 50 years that I know of, okay? This town should be grateful that he would even jump up and say he would build a commercial building with residential units. Kempville's not the greatest place where there's people chomping at the bit to get in here to build commercial buildings. You guys should know that. You should know that. You're a commercial banker. There's not a lot of commercial development going on here in Kempville with respect to building brand new buildings. You've lived in Kempville a long time, so have you. Why is it you guys are honing in on Portland Andrew there and not giving him the opportunity to build a beautiful building? This town has been dormant for 30 years. It's only, we've seen a little bit of development lately, but it's pathetic. You guys should really sit back, think about what Kathy said, and think for yourselves, not for someone you're following. Think for yourself. For 5 minutes, just separate yourselves from everybody and think about it. There is no reason whatsoever that this building development should not go forward. That is absolutely the most ridiculous thing that I have heard in the 30 years that I've lived here. Absolutely ridiculous. Who wouldn't want commercial development? Who wouldn't want the taxes from it? You know, you're sitting here with an old rink, an old swimming pool, old Pentville. Meanwhile, all around us, Berwick is prospering. Wolfville is prospering. Give your heads a shake, okay? And that's what I want to say. Like, grow up and think for yourselves. This place has been dormant for so long, it is pathetic. So if someone's going to take the chance, get the financing, build the building, you should be all over him like fly shit. It's just absolutely ridiculous.
Thank you.
That's it.
Miriam Zabian, and I live at 40 Anderson Boulevard in Kempville. I haven't done any public speaking in a very long time, so forgive me if I sound a little bit shaky. I am extremely disappointed with the decision that this council made regarding the old Robinson land. My kids and I and Andrew had dreams for that piece of land. We hit a pandemic. We didn't hit just any normal year. We hit a pandemic. I don't understand how I'm hearing throughout the council meetings, there was a delay in here because of COVID. There was a delay here because we had COVID. There's a delay, but yet we can't, as a small developer, use that as our excuse. We're not allowed to. I just want to know why, because Andrew wanted the truth out, because he went privately, did everything right. He came to you guys. He wanted a meeting about the allegations that were against his council. and mayor, and you refused him. What would you have done? Because I know 100% you've singled him out, you singled us out, you've singled my children out. My children, who every day I would drive them past that piece of land and say, Mommy, you might open a store there and we'll come visit you. What are you going to say now? What are you going to say to my children? They used to love watching the meetings. You were a friend. You were a friend, not just in business. You guys were friends. And it's so sad to see how you guys have all just went your own ways and hate each other. Like you could see the hate from a mile away. I can feel it from being at home and just I don't even let my kids watch the council meetings anymore. I could sit here and tell you all the research I did, looked at the legalities, do all of that. I can tell you everything, but I'm choosing not to right now. I'm choosing to speak to you guys who were friends of ours, who were supposed to be for the people. Not for yourselves, for the people. We elected you. So why aren't you listening? He did everything right. He came to you. He came to you privately to discuss the allegations. How many times did he come to you? And because you didn't come, you didn't want to discuss it, you shut him down, threw a possible lawsuit at us. And then you thought that he wouldn't let the people know of that? I'm beyond right now. Just explain to me. Stop saying because of the contract. Stop saying because of this, because you guys have given many, many, many people special treatment. And Andrew, you all know this. You know this, you know this, you know this, and you know this, that Andrew loves this town. He always has. And he worked so hard to make this town better. Even from behind the scenes while last term or with previous council. You all know how much work he has done for this town. And to single him out, how can you look at him and how can you look at me? I just want to know how you can look at a family. I had a dream for that. I did. And you took that. Being treated like this is wrong. The people are saying it's wrong. Make up and be friends again, because the town doesn't like seeing you guys like this. You guys are good people. You're not evil, you're not bad. You guys can work well together. Just do it. Shake hands and work well together, and that's it. It's simple. Why have hate in your hearts when it's just so easy to be kind and just to be happy? Why spend the energy? Andrew adored every single one of you. He adored every single person in this room. So the next time you guys see my kids, I want you guys to tell them why our building that I had dreams for, that Andrew had dreams for, that my children had dreams for, what Andrew really wanted for this town, you can tell them exactly what that reason is. And don't tell them about the contract. You tell them exactly what the real reason is.
Thank you. The council has property matter which must be conducted in a closed session, and we require a motion to go into the closed session to discuss the agenda item. We will not be returning to Facebook Live for adjournment of this meeting. We could motion to move into a closed session to discuss the property matter. Councillor York, thank you. And a seconder? Second. Councillor Gerard, thank you. It has been moved and seconded that council move into a closed session. The question is on adoption of the motion to move into a closed session. All those in favor? Those opposed? The motion is carried, and the time is 8:15.